So this video here is just a quick recording on some of the simulation techniques and monitoring techniques that we can do in GXWorks here at Mitsubishi. So if I open up a new project, I'm going to go with the FX CPU and an FX ON type PLC. And I'm going to do a very basic program just so we can simulate it. I'm going to start off, just do a simple latch. Start off with an input, give us an output, remap my output back in as an input in order to create that latch, and then insert a way to break the latch. Okay, and then we will compile and we're ready to rock. Okay, so I want to go into simulation. So we've just start-stop simulation, which what it does is it tells the computer ultimately we're downloading into a simulated PLC here, and we can put it in stop and run mode from here. So once this is available, it's ultimately like a fake PLC that the computer has logged into. So that's all well and good. We can keep that to the side, and excuse me, we can see what's currently on, what's currently off. So that's normally closed, so it's allowing power through. I can right click on the value, go to debug, modify the value, and I can turn on that input. You'll see it's gone and turned on my output. If I now turn off the input, we see it still stays latched on, and we need to ultimately modify this value so that I can unlatch it, and we're back to the starting position. So that's one way of viewing it. We can also view it in a table-like formula, so that we can see a whole range of outputs. Imagine we had a lot of outputs that were a much larger program, we needed to view them. What we can do is we can look at the buffer memory, and this gives us a table for what we can view. Now, just in the format, we only need to select 2 bits, so it's going to show us the device and what it is at. So if we just start with the X's, we type in X0, it gives us a list of the inputs, and it says what their current values are. They're 0 or 1. So you see if I go in here and I change this value to on, you'll see it's now on here. We know that that's gone on, and we can actually modify it here as well. So we can click on it, modify the value, get the same window, turn it off, and that goes off. And then we can even check the whole list of outputs as well, and that has been latched on. So in order to get that off again, you could look at your full range of outputs, and we can go back to our inputs and press enter again to get back to our inputs. Now we know we need to modify this value, turn it on, turn it off again. Gives you even a list of kind of history there as well, so that will get ultimately our Y's back. And we can check, on our memory as well. We typed in M0, we can check on our internal registers as well. So really useful way of monitoring how our system's running, simulating it and testing it. So we can turn that off again by going up here to debug and stop the simulation.